Is the Type 31/Arrowhead 140 the best frigate for New Zealand? That's the big question for today's video, as the country is currently in the process of deciding on a design for its next warships. Just two designs are up for serious consideration: the upgraded Mogami-class frigate from Japan, known as the new FFM configuration, and the Arrowhead 140, known as the Type 31 Inspiration class with the UK Royal Navy, or Balaputradewa class for Indonesia's Navy. And so this multi-part video series will examine both of these options in depth and in the context of their suitability for New Zealand's Navy. Part 1, the one you're watching now, covers the Arrowhead 140. So let's get started. Borrowing information we compiled for a Baltic Defence Review video on the Arrowhead 140, it was back in May 2018 that Babcock Team 31 unveiled Arrowhead 140 as its design for the UK Ministry of Defence's new Type 31E General Purpose Light Frigate programme. The design team, led by Babcock International, included a handful of industry heavyweights including Thales, OMT, BMT, Harland and Wolff, and Ferguson Marine. While the Arrowhead 140 is said to have UK engineering at its core, the design is actually based on OMT's Iwa Huitfeldt hull form, which is currently in service with the Royal Danish Navy. As such, the design put forward by Babcock was marketed as having lower program risks through a tried and tested baseline design. It was said that this wide-beam ship was easier to design, easier to build, and easier to maintain due to its slightly larger size. Craig Lockhart, Babcock's managing director Naval Marine, was quoted as saying, "More than just building a ship, Babcock Team 31 offers a unique opportunity for global navies to tap into the complete design, build, and support capability for the T-31E frigate. Individually, all of the Babcock Team 31 members have exceptionally strong portfolios of activity, and collectively we are able to introduce to the market Arrowhead 140, a general-purpose light frigate package that we believe is second to none." Since marketing language gives us a good idea of the type of customer a product is designed for, here's what Babcock has to say about the AH140. It's a proven export-ready multi-mission frigate. It's hailed as being flexible and highly capable. As such, it provides navies with a fast, low-risk route to modern maritime power. And finally, as the baseline design for the Royal Navy's Type 31 Inspiration class, it is in-build today, giving international customers confidence in a design that is already being delivered. With this review of the ship's marketing material, we can see that a reliable build process, experience with exports, and flexibility for various missions are the key selling points. Things that would suit New Zealand well, given that the country is searching for a general-purpose, do-it-all type of frigate. And since this naval modernization project is a relatively significant and costly one for the country, managing risk will be top of mind for decision-makers. In other words, there won't be much room for cost overruns, and there will be little tolerance for delivery delays. This is where a somewhat mature design with export experience becomes quite valuable. So, what are the actual specifications and capabilities for the Arrowhead 140? Well, according to Naval Technology, here are the basics. The frigate will have a maximum overall length of 138.7 meters, a maximum beam of 19.8 meters, and a design draft of 4.8 meters. Empty displacement of the vessel is thought to be between 4,000 and 4,500 tons, while full load displacement will of course heavily depend on how the customer decides to configure the ships. To date, we've seen a full load displacement of 5,700 tons for the UK Type 31, while Poland's Miecznik frigates max out at 7,000 tons. It's said to be 6,600 tons for Indonesia's Balaputradewa class frigates. The Arrowhead 140 is designed to carry more than 160 people, operating with a minimal crew of 100. Its large aft flight deck can accommodate an AW101 Merlin or MH-60 Seahawk helicopter, or smaller rotorcraft such as AW159 Wildcat plus UAVs. This is good news considering the military looks to be replacing its Super Sea Sprites with the MH-60R. But of course, for New Zealand, it would help if the flight deck was also able to support the RNZAF's NH-90 helicopters. Since the ship is designed to support aircraft with a maximum takeoff weight of up to 15 tons, it easily covers the 10.6-ton maximum weight of a fully loaded NH-90. Additionally, the ship's hangar space should have no problem housing a helicopter of this size. Naval technology adds that either side of the AH140's hull will feature 2 boat bays for the deployment of rigid-hulled inflatable boats and autonomous underwater/surface systems, while the vessel also has a range of reconfigurable spaces to carry a large number of 20-foot equivalent, or TEU, mission-specific containers. Given the high degree of customization available, weapons and armament will only be decided after the design is selected. This could see the ship configured relatively lightly, like the UK's first few boats, or set up with more serious firepower as ordered by Poland and Indonesia. We think that due to New Zealand's smaller defence budget, the country is likely to opt for their own specification, something either on par or even below the Type 31's baseline. That is to say, the Type 31's configuration before the capability insertion period and the installation of the Mark 41 VLS. At the same time, it can be said that the ship's upper deck does feature gun mounts to house 40mm small caliber guns going up to 5 inches or 127mm medium caliber guns, while the large deck area can accommodate 8 canister-launched surface-to-surface guided weapons. The AH140 can also accommodate vertical launch systems such as the Sea-Scepter Cold Launch VLS or Mark 41 with up to 32 variable length tubes. For what it's worth, New Zealand's current Anzac frigates feature a 20-cell vertical launch system customized for the Sea-Scepter. The vessel can also be fitted with systems for surface-to-air missiles, land strike missiles, anti-submarine warfare missiles, and close-in weapon systems. When it comes to systems and sensors, it's a similar situation to weapons, with the customer able to choose their own equipment, from combat management system to radars to sonars. For example, the UK's ships use the Thales Tacticos CMS integrated with Thales NS-110 radar. The Polish Navy also uses the Thales Tacticos CMS, but has modified it and integrated it with distinct customer-selected French/European sensors and specialized local layout requirements. The Indonesian Navy has completely customized its AH140 platform to use Havelsan's Advent CMS, a choice which completely shifts the combat system to a network-centric Turkish architecture. Again, we feel like New Zealand and its smaller defence budget could go with less advanced/more economical options for various sensors, but we'll really have to wait and see what happens. It's worth mentioning, however, that both New Zealand's Anzac frigates and their Protector-class OPV use Lockheed Martin Canada's CMS 330. Would the country want to adopt this more familiar CMS 330 for its next frigates? Or, if it chooses the Type 31, would it instead work through the retraining of personnel for Tacticos? That'll be an interesting choice to keep an eye on. But something that is common among all AH140 users appears to be propulsion, as all ships are fitted with 4 combined diesel and diesel or Codad Rolls-Royce MTU 20V8000 engines. However, despite identical engines, ship endurance, range and maximum speed will vary depending on the choice of weapons and sensors, as everything has differing weight and/or levels of power consumption. Nonetheless, we can expect a range of between 8,000 and 9,000 nautical miles and an endurance of 3 to 4 weeks without replenishment. Reaching a speed of at least 26 knots shouldn't be a problem. So, after reviewing all of this information, what can be said about the Arrowhead 140's suitability for New Zealand's Navy? Well, Navy Lookout highlights how the ship's size and flexibility open up wider fleet options. Indeed, with the Anzacs measuring just 118 meters and weighing 3,600 tons, the Type 31 would be a huge step up for the Navy. It's added that Babcock has already engaged with industry in New Zealand, making agreements with about 60 local companies that could be involved in the supply chain. This, when combined with the export experience already gained by the Babcock team, should make for a smooth production process. And then, according to the Australian Naval Institute, one of the biggest draws for New Zealand is the long history of working with the United Kingdom, as naval traditions and training systems are very similar. It's asserted that choosing the Type 31 would likely result in a smoother transition for the sailors who have to operate them. The Australian Naval Institute write-up, which is more of an opinion piece without a listed author, does seem a little biased towards the Arrowhead 140, so that should be taken into consideration. Ultimately, this ship design offers reliability, potentially lower costs, and a potentially smooth production process with smooth entry into service. The upgraded Mogami may not be able to offer all of these things together, but we'll look at the Japanese option in a future video. But what do you think of the Type 31/Arrowhead 140 for New Zealand's Navy? Leave a comment and let us know.